What a day yesterday was. Turned on the TV, see what was going on, mid-afternoon. Every station, ABC, CBS, NBC, BBC, CNBC, even the business news channels, they all broke away. They all broke away for this shot of shit. Watching the Prince and the Duchess holding the little cazzone over there, you know? Yeah, I think that's what's going to be his name. Oh, they have 40 days to name it. And the whole world is waiting. That's what they told us. The whole world is waiting just to hear what they're going to name the new little kid. Every one of these disgusting people on the media were all gaga over this bunch of shit. It's bread and circuses. What a disgusting, disgusting spectacle of humanity. Hey, war's going on. You think they would break away? No way. Economy in trouble. You think they'd break away? No way. But hey, for a cheap shot, and what a stage thing this was, they were dressed both in blue. Yeah, he had checks, she had polka dots. And he even drove the car, and did they talk about that? And this is what the whole world is waiting for. So that's today's trends in the news. I'm only kidding. When are we going to circumcise them? I want to see that party. Put it on pay-per-view. What else we got here in the toilet paper? 12 die in clashes in Egypt as new leaders find security elusive. It's a civil war. Hey, but it wasn't a coup. No, no, no. Hey, 12 people die in Egypt. 3 die in Boston. It's a big deal. 12 one day, 7 another day, 4 one day, 50 another day. They're only Egyptians. Who cares? I'm talking about death. 3 U.S. soldiers among 8 dead in bombing in Afghanistan. But who cares? Hey, you see the Prince and the Duchess and Stugatz over there, huh? Yeah. One of the dead, Anthony Maddox, 22. Port Arthur, Texas. Family will never be the same. Everybody that knows is going to be affected. And 2 other guys, they didn't even put their names in. Maybe this guy was from a day before. They don't care. Turkey, 72 journalists forced out for covering protests. Yeah, 72 journalists had been fired or forced to take leave or had resigned in the past 6 weeks. There's a start of unrest. Quote, "We're now facing a new period where the media is controlled by the government and the police, and where most of the media bosses take orders from political authorities." Hey, they have exported American form of democracy overseas, just like in the United States. That's right, with all of the shit prostitutes that suck up, bow down, and kiss the asses of the politicians and do what they're told. It's democracy has gone to Turkey. Yeah. 64 journalists have been imprisoned. Interesting story over here. Harsh self-assessment as Cuba looks within. There was a time, Alexei remembers, when life in Cuba was simpler. People dressed properly. Children respected their elders. Stealing was stealing. My father brought me up with a strict set of values, said Alexei. But that has been lost. And they go on to say, Castro gave us a talk at the National Assembly, criticizing the behavior from urinating in the streets, raising pigs in cities, to taking bribes. It sounds like everywhere else I've been. I see pigs all over the city. And that's just the start of it. Islanders yell in the streets, curse indiscriminately. Hey, sounds like right out here. Disturb their neighbors' sleep with loud music. Huh. Only in Cuba, huh? Vandalize telephones, dodge bus fares, and throw stones at passing trains. I got to tell you, when I was a kid, I used to throw stones at passing trains too, man. And one time the cops were chasing us, they didn't get me. You know, I was about 10 years old, 11 years old. You do shit like that when you're a kid. But this has just become a way of life now. Quote, they ignore the basic standards of gentility and respect, Mr. Castro continued. All this is going on under our noses without provoking any objection or challenge from other citizens. I have a bitter sensation that we are a society that is ever better educated, but not necessarily more enlightened. Castro rebuked his countrymen for losing their honesty, decency, sense of shame, decorum, honor, and sensitivity to others. And of course, they go on to show how, things are breaking down over there, and so are the people. So it's a two-way street. But there's a statement that they have over in Cuba. To be cultured is the only way to be free. Amen. Culture's gone. It's a country of cafones all over the world. There's one near you. Interesting story. And talking about cafones, a new poll just came out. Rancor in Washington fans public disapproval. Rising frustration over partisan gridlock in Washington has damaged faith in both the president and lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers, I love that term, lawmakers. Yeah. The Beltway circle jerks and the D.C. drama queens. With disapproval of Congress hitting an all-time high, a new Wall Street Journal NBC poll found in the latest poll, Mr. Obama's job approval rating fell to 45%. I don't even know how it could be that high. Its lowest since the late 2011, while overall disapproval rate of Congress was at 83%. Yeah, what are the other 17% thinking? They must be working for Congress. I love the headline. Rancor in Washington fans public disapproval. No, wankers in Washington and wankettes are the ones that are fanning public disapproval. It's disgusting. And we're all turning disgusting as a nation. You can see society breaking down. That story about Cuba says a lot. But don't worry. People ask me what to invest in. Stay with the defense industry. Financial Times. Robust Lockheed marches on. Growth untouched by sequestration. Military contract that boosts 10% profits. Goes on and on, this story. All the military contractors are doing great. No cutbacks, only cutbacks for us. The military-industrial complex is taking over. Shipyards bulkhead against U.S. defense cuts. Long-term projects give Newport News a barrier against slashed budgets. Yeah, one after another. Britain's Prince William and his wife Kate kept the world guessing about the name of their first child as they left the hospital to start family life with the future king. The future king. Yeah, quote. I love this one. I had to read this. We are still working on a name, so we will have that as soon as we can. Working on a name? You got to work on a name? You know what this is?
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horse shit.
It's horse shit. And here's more horse shit. The monarchy's popularity sank to a low in the 1990s after a string of divorces and the death of William's mother, Diana. Elizabeth was criticized for her response to her death. The Guardian newspaper described the turnaround as, quote, an incredible recovery. Incredible recovery. It's incredible that they call it anything. And talking about a no recovery, China's flash PMI plunges to 11-month low. China's manufacturing activity shrank for the third straight month in July. A closely watched flash estimate of the HSBC China Purchasing Managers Index fell to an 11-month low of 47.7 has to be over 50 to indicate expanding economic activity. So there you got it. No recovery. And more. Bulgarian protesters block parliament. Scuffle with police. It's collapsing around the world. And even here in the USA, this didn't make the big news. They're doing urban warfare training exercises in Chicago, and they've been continuing. A July 10th Chicago Tribune article on fresh exercise planned in the nearby suburb of Tinley Park cited Tinley Park Emergency Managing Agency Director. Emergency Management Agency Director? They create these jobs. They're stealing our money so that they could crack down on us and do surveillance on us at every moment that they want. And we're paying for this stuff. His name is Pat Carr, on helicopter exercises planned for July 23rd and 24th, but there was no indication of where these would be taking place. Not visible on the City of Chicago website front page, but placed in the Office of Emergency Management's, quote, news section, having gone up around the site at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, was a vague notice reading. I got to read this. Quote, the City of Chicago is providing support for a routine military training exercise in and around the Chicagoland area on July 22nd to July 25th. This routine training is conducted by military personnel in cities across the country, designed to ensure the military's ability to operate in urban environments as service members meet mandatory training certification requirements, and here's the bullshit, and prepare for upcoming overseas deployments. The training sites have been carefully selected by official assholes. Oh, we're going to carefully select these. We're going to go to Tinley Park. Yeah, we're going to get the Tinley Park Emergency Management Agency Director. Somebody's paying money for this crap, and it's us. Hey, no money for Detroit. But I digress. The training sites have been carefully selected to minimize the impact on the daily routine of residents. The training is not open to the public. Land of the free, home of the brave. Obama repealed the Posse Comitatus Act when he signed the National Defense Authorization Act on New Year's Eve in 2011. It allows the military to take over the country. And here it is, proof. Oh, yeah, they're doing this. They're attacking. They're doing this training for overseas deployment. No, they're doing it for the same reason they're protesting in Turkey and Brazil and Bulgaria, the streets of Greece and Spain and Portugal, because the economic system is breaking down and things are getting out of control. And they're so out of control that we have shit that's running the country in broad daylight. I forgot this story. How can I forget it? That little wiener. Yeah, the little wiener's back in the nose. Wiener admits explicit texting after house exit, and his wife appears with them. She's Hillary Clinton's one of her top aides. Mr. Wiener, appearing solemn and a bit worn as he faced more than 100 journalists in a hastily arranged news conference, acknowledged that his habit of sending sexual images and text messages to female fans had continued for more than a year after he left Congress, vowing to seek treatment and change his behavior. Vowing to seek treatment and change his behavior. These little shits, they only say this stuff after they get caught. And the other little son of a bitch, Spitzer out there. You know who's running against him? You can't make this up. The madam that hooked him up with the chick. And you people that are writing to me saying it's nobody's business, it is my business. It's everybody's business because they're hypocrites. Spitzer passed the John law that if a guy got caught with a hooker, he'd get busted and prosecuted for it. And he gets $3,000 and $5,000 a night hookers. And where'd he get his money? His old man's a real estate mogul. Another shit that was born on third base and thought he hit a triple. Hey, most people can only afford a hooker for, happy ending after a massage. But this guy, he got $3,000 and $5,000 ones. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends in the news.